This is a clip from Understanding Propaganda. The entire episode is available on Rockfin and free on all podcast platforms. You can click the link in the description to access the entire episode now.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Understanding Propaganda. And once again, I have the Master of Truth, Wheezy, in-house with me today. Wheezy, what's going on?
I am chilling like a villain, my man. Thank you for inviting me yet again.
Yes. So, you and I had been briefly discussing whether or not a plane had hit the Pentagon, and that led me to think of all of the various mis and disinformation coming from the alleged conspiracy crowd over the past couple of decades post 9/11, because the conspiracy crowd, unfortunately, over the years has become saturated with people like Jim Marrs and Jim Fetzer and all these fucks who promote crazy theories, and they are what I like to call well poisoners, people who are intentionally putting out bogus information in order to steer the people who are truly interested in this information away from the truth. And I think it's kind of an interesting way that it's an interesting way that Alex Jones has things set up, because Alex Jones is the biggest well poisoner of them all. However, with Alex Jones, he will always present real factual information that is damning to the powers that be. But Alex Jones's real purpose is to steer people away from the people who are genuinely behind everything. He continues to fall back on, oh, it's the globalists, right? But who the fuck are these globalists? You and I know who the globalists are. We don't need to talk about that today. But as you can see, he'll give you all the information up front because they know that this information will get out anyway. And so for people like Alex Jones, it's a way to get in front of the information while simultaneously steering people away from the culprits behind it. So we had initially started talking about the Pentagon, and when it really comes to 9/11, there's just so much bad information out there. None of the Zeitgeist movies or Loose Change or any of that stuff even comes close to presenting the real truth. And so what's your opinion on well poisoners, and have you identified any well poisoners in the mix?
Yeah, I completely agree with you when it comes to well poisoners. There's definitely people whose sole job, and they work in these big networks such as CNN, Fox, MSNBC, and their sole purpose is they'll give you bits of truth and mix in a bunch of bullshit so that they send people into all kinds of dead ends and different directions. So I completely agree with you in that sense. That being said, when it comes to the Pentagon, or, let me touch on Alex Jones. I agree with you with Alex Jones. One of his biggest dead giveaways was when he became very partisan, at least for me. Just disinformation agents that put out partial truths mixed in with a shit ton of lies. When it comes to the Pentagon building, or just 9/11 in general, I agree with you. There's tons of shit out there. Holographic planes, fucking beams from UFOs hitting the buildings and knocking them out. 100% I agree with you that there's a bunch of bullshit. However, I think what helped spark this little dialogue that we're having here, I did hear you on the Pentagon building. You believe that a plane did hit the building, and I was like, hell no. I do not believe there was planes, and I believe I have the evidence for that, and I feel I can back up why I believe that no planes hit the Pentagon, but rather, I still don't know what it